Hello, Professor Guzetti and Professor Baez. My name is Oriel Martin, and I'm going to discuss all of the fabulous articles that I really felt touched me throughout this semester. My first article that I really loved and thought was actually wonderful for my current life and my current life goals was the Gallus article on how, I guess, the whole concept of it was how young men could be overly masculine and their masculine mentality can dominate a classroom. Karen Gallus discussed how she had a classroom full of young kids and she observed them for months and months and months in their science class, and how there would be this one particular group of boys who would always take over the conversation, intimidate other kids, stop them from saying what they would originally say, a group of young white males. She compared how their culture, their race, and their gender changed and formatted the way they behaved, which I thought was really interesting. And even more so because it kind of related to my real life situation with my job. I'm a tutor for children K through 12. And at this particular point that I read this article, I was also tutoring a small group of kids that were third graders. I had three boys and two girls. The girls were always extremely shy, very, very reliant on the guys initiating the conversation, and very scared to jump into anything we were discussing or talking about. While the boys overtalked everybody. They were rude, rambunctious, slightly disrespectful, and a little bit more, I guess, aggressive. So, after reading the article and seeing how Karen used her new environment with the kids to learn and to also educate the kids on different ways that they could learn in a group setting, I kind of applied the same theories. I encouraged the girls who were very quiet and mild mannered to speak up for their own rights and for their own opinions and beliefs, like I would in normal life, because I am very pro girl and feminist. I also encourage the boys to see the other side of the coin. Don't just overtalk, don't just be extremely loud or verbose, but listen as well as articulate and express yourself. This article was instrumental in getting my groups to be a lot more functional, a lot more progressive, and a lot more intellectually stimulating. So I was really appreciative of that. My next article was the Kirkland article for colored girls who've considered suicide when the media or the net was enough. Can't remember the exact title, sorry. It was extremely personal. Probably because I am very much enraptured in that play. I did the play when I was graduating college from the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in 2007, and when I was finishing the school year, because it was a 2-year program, I didn't expect for that experience to be the outcome. I just knew that I was going to be in a play for colored girls who consider suicide when the rainbow was enough, but I didn't really have an idea what I was going to be doing or what the play would be about. Now, to say that that play changed my life is being very, 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 very kind. That play revolutionized what I thought, how I thought, and how I saw the world. I had so many amazing experiences throughout the rehearsals. And it was ironic too, because we were talking about girl power and femininity and being very, very direct and saying what you mean and almost always meaning what you say. And it was on the eve of the Don Imus situation, where Don Imus, the shock jock, had made the comment about the Rutgers basketball players, saying that they were some nappy headed hoes. And it was just like everything from that point on was coming full circle, and it was all about signs and exactly what, in my personal belief, God wanted me to do and see was positioned from the beginning. The path was already set. All I needed to do was walk that path. This particular article touched my heart, especially because I'm from a very large Southern family, and where I grew up, grandparents and great grandparents and elders talk to their young quite a bit. I just remember my grandma and all the stories she would tell me about how she didn't feel like she was special, how she felt worthless, her self esteem was in the gutter. She would go on, endless job interviews and couldn't get a good job or couldn't get the right man or all these different things. And she always encouraged me not to feel that way. She told me her stories so that I could see that I didn't have to have a life like that to know that that wasn't what I wanted. I could be more than just a mother and a wife or, a worker in a factory. I had so many more fabulous talents for the world to see. So I retreat back to that, and in this article I retreat back to those moments as sort of like my pinnacle of youth. I didn't necessarily have to go through a lot of awful things to know that they are out there, but I knew that someone loved me enough to keep me from those things. And just like within the article, I was shocked to hear my grandma use these words because in the most that I've ever heard her swear was maybe hell or damn, but for her to say the things she said about these experiences, I knew it was something that really, really hit close to home for her. So in the end, her experiences shaped me as a person and made me want to articulate and express myself more, which is why I think I always drew, I always wrote, acted, did any and everything to be expressive by all means, was an artist from the womb. And just like in the article, where Kirkland describes the experiences that the young women may go through where they relate back to their past and their ancestry and their familiarity with family and all the different things that they went through, as well as all the things that their family went through in conjunction with them as people, really, really, really touched me because I know what that's like firsthand. And I want to be able to pass that mentality down to my children so that they always know, no matter how low they feel, no matter how depressed they are, no matter how many sad things they've experienced, I really do think that they can be anything they want to be. And I think they should express it in some creative form so that they can get a release and an outlet. And lastly, the video, killing us softly with advertising and the objectification of women. I must admit, I was very embarrassed, very ashamed, and shocked by my own personal opinion of the video and how I took it. Because I never thought that I was one of those people. I never thought I was one of those people that gave into the ads. I never looked at the other side of this, like this woman is dressed so scantily clad to sell vodka, half naked, rail thin, pale skin, super blonde hair, blue eyes, selling vodka. It's very, very, very strange, but somehow, some way, it works in more ways than one. On top of that, it was it was very shocking. It was very sad. I felt kind of awful when I was done because I realized that I too endorsed this behavior because I had always co-signed that those women looked really good or that, wow, she's working it, she's gorgeous, not knowing that I was also perpetuating the stereotype in real life that women need to be damn near perfect to sell a product or to get a job or to be considered anything more than, their vagina in real life. So I'm really glad that this was an aha moment, as Oprah would say, where I said, you know what, enough. I don't need to see a half naked woman to buy Sky Vodka. I don't need to drive a Ford with a group of hot chicks that are, breast out, super short dresses. I don't need to have any of those things to know that I might want to buy that car or drink that drink. So it definitely reassessed how I feel about things, how I portray myself as a woman, and how other people see me because I know that there's a particular way that they're going to view me no matter what, specifically because I'm a woman and also because I'm black. All of these articles made me realize that I have a responsibility. I have a responsibility within my job to educate fairly, equitably, and respectfully. I have a responsibility as a woman to almost always, always say how I feel because I know that if I don't, I'm letting somebody who doesn't feel that I'm important enough because of my gender get away with taking away my dignity. And I have a responsibility to be heard, express myself at all times, which is what I always do. I always write, I always draw. I'm making all kinds of things in my room. My mother thinks I'm a pack rat, but I keep everything because I'm very sentimental. And these things mean a lot to me. So these articles just reinforced what I've always felt, but educated me on a new level so that I can be even better in the future and going forward. In closing, I would like to thank Professor Guzetti and a special thanks to Professor Baez because without you, I'm surely going to be completely honest, I wouldn't have been able to finish this semester. You've been so kind, always responding right away with emails. I mean, the time you called me to make sure I understood the articles and the setup on the box, you've just been a godsend. So, thank you both very much for an intense, eye opening, and incredibly informative semester. I really do appreciate it. And from now on going forth, I will observe both genders with a non preconceived notion, an objective eye, and a respectful mind. Thank you. And take care.